Throughout his letters, the Apostle Paul writes about hope. It would seem as though the word hope was always on his mind. Hope occurs at least 50 times in 11 letters, and it's something for which he asks the Lord to give to those to whom he writes. Now, it's important to realize that when Paul writes about hope, he's either writing from prison, experiencing persecution, or suffering a deprivation of some kind, lacking food or shelter or financial resources. So for Paul, hope is not a lofty ideal to be pondered, but a tangible gift from God to be put to use. Hope is something to practice, especially when life seems to be going the wrong way. The word itself means expectation, trust, confidence, but not confidence in one's own abilities. That's what we call optimism. Instead, hope is confidence in God's faithfulness towards us. Confidence that he will be true to his word to protect us and provide for us, despite the sin and brokenness around us and within us. And that one day he will make all things new, something which is already underway through his son Jesus. Now there's a verse in chapter 4 of Paul's letter to the Romans which captures for me this notion of practicing hope. It reads, "When everything was hopeless, Abraham believed anyway, deciding to live not on the basis of what he saw he couldn't do, but on what God said he would do." This translation of verse 18 is from the Message, and from it we learn that hope is a decision to trust God to act on our behalf, regardless of our circumstances. It's a decision rooted in a belief that God is faithful and will honor his promises. This is what the Apostle Paul did in times of peril and in times of peace. It's a decision we must choose to make every day throughout the day. Now, in order to trust God in the midst of this pandemic, we will need to limit how much we read and view about COVID-19. There are facts we need to know. We can't pretend that this virus is not deadly and that the consequences of trying to limit its spread are having a detrimental effect on all of us. Trusting God is not about viewing our circumstances through rose-colored glasses. However, too much exposure to grim realities will distort our perception of what God can do despite those grim realities. And we will end up living on the basis of what we see we can't do. Hope is all about deciding to live on what God said he would do. This decision means choosing to live with expectation that no matter what unfolds each day, God will act in the midst of it on our behalf with power and grace, which he has in abundant supply. It's all too easy to get caught up in seeing only what is lacking, what's going wrong. Practicing hope means we make a deliberate choice to stop throughout the day and view our circumstances with an expectation that God will supply abundantly what we truly need. Now lately, I've been wearing this Gym Boss timer on my waistband. I've set it to buzz quietly for 5 seconds every hour throughout the day, from 6 in the morning until 9 in the evening. And whenever it buzzes, I stop as soon as feasible and ask the Holy Spirit to enlighten the eyes of my heart so that I can see whatever I'm doing through the lens of hope, with the expectation that God will supply more than enough of whatever I need in order to do what I'm supposed to be doing. This is how I choose to practice hope at a time like this, in addition to reading the Psalms. So I encourage you to think about what perspective you're using right now to take stock of your life. And if you realize that hope is not in the picture, find something practical to do that will help you to choose to live not on the basis of what you see you can't do, but on what God said He would do.